Hi everyone, this is Rick. I just wanted to say hello and to tell you what I'm doing, some new products that I have and what's coming up next. And also maybe show you some of my customer successes and maybe comments. I have been working on a foxing video to explain what foxing is, what it isn't, some advances in removal and repair of foxing, and how to understand the differences. There really should be lots of different types of foxing because we have one word to describe many different things that have many different restoration options. Right now, just the text, just like my on-screen thing that I read text for it, is 40 pages of text. And no pictures, no examples, anything. So that's a big deal, and it's gonna be, I think you need to get that down to like 20 pages, and it's still going to be probably 5 or 6 videos total. It's a big deal, but I think it's important for people to understand it because it's actually so many things. I have a couple customers have sent me stuff. Now I need books with foxing in them to complete this, so I am imploring you to send me books. I'll put my address, my shipping address, in the comments section below, the details. I only have a few. I've had foxing books up the Yahoo until I suddenly need a foxing book, and now I don't have any on hand. So I did have a customer send me two great books that are deliciously awful. There's this Marvel's collector's item here, which is just beat to hell and worth nothing. It's probably a point. I'm sure it's a 0.5, but it's got some awesome mold on the back here, which is great. And it's soiled everywhere. We got a huge water stain, which is awesome because I just developed a new water stain cleaner, so I want to try that out on this. And I'm happy as a clam to see this beat up old busted book. Thank you for that. And then that's from Brian. So I have also another book from the same person sent me, and this one's got some foxing on it. It's teeny tiny holes, so I'll get my microscope and I'll do some video. I might take an X-ray at this book later today and show you in my next video. World at War. Looks like it's from about 78, and it is, this one's not so beat up, so it's okay, I guess. But, we all would want a book most people want books that are really nice, and I crave ones that are really terrible. That's what I look for in my comic books. Well, at least the ones to work on. Of course, my own collection is pretty nice, which I'll show you guys someday if you want to see it. Let me know if you want to see my Spider-Man collection. The back of this book is just general schmutz, which is no problemo for me to clean. Of course, this will look fantastic when I'm done with it. But there's also some pretty major spine rolled. And of course, I'll fix that. Yeah, this book is definitely pretty good. Honestly, I would probably put this at like a 5.5, maybe a 5. But got a little bit of foxing on there, and I'll take care of that. Second thing I wanted to talk about was some changes to the products on my website. I have the chamfer boards, the pressing boards here are now. They used to be, first they were press brake cut, and I had to go in and have the edges milled off because there was, burrs on there. And then I had them water jet cut, which is more expensive but cheaper than laser cutting. And but it blew the coating off the back of it, the poly coating that makes it mirror bright. And some people complained about it. Now, it didn't make a difference functionally because it's still hot and flat, which holds heat and is flat, which is its primary job. But it has little scratches, and people worry, what if I get a scratch in my book? Well, you're supposed to put a pressing board or paper between it anyway. But now I have a mirror polish, so if you look, there's my little logo on the front here. There's a poly film on the back of it, and you'll remove that, and then it's polished and bright on the back. And it'll probably still have little marks because it's just aluminum, but they don't change the function. But this is the 9x12 thick one. The cheaper one is a little different. It is also laser cut, but it is still pretty much the same, except it has a white, this film here on the back. You got that. And my cold press boards which normally look like this, are coming in at all kinds of weird sizes because I didn't order precision cut. This is a cold press board. Now, the reason there's a sticker on it is to keep one side away from the book all the time. It doesn't really matter which side in the case of the cold press board. You just have to maintain one side away because you don't want to have scratches on the downside of it. So this also has a film on the back, which makes it look really nice. This is a 12x12 board. I order 12x12, and I say precision cuts are $5 a piece, and cuts are $2 a piece. So corner one It's only $2 for me to get a cut, and a precision cut makes it $20. So if I just get whatever, like towards they get to the end of a sheet or whatever happens, who knows? I could get like 10 by 14 or something like that. But I throw away all the ones that aren't bigger than a comic book, so they're all bigger. But that's how we keep the price as low as we do. This 1/4-inch cast acrylic is extremely expensive. So I have some cheaper options because I have also, well, it's not really that much cheaper, but it hides scratches better, I guess. Is this? I have this smoke colored, like you see this like semi-transparent, and that one you might want to have it if you have a book that you're trying to keep out of the light. So you want to cold press it. You want to see the book, but you don't want UV light on. It's sensitive to fading, or you put peroxide on it or something. You would want one of these boards, and it's it's translucent. And there's an opaque board. If you want one to be opaque, we have the white. They're also cast acrylic, but it's white. It's got a peel back side still, and you have a side up. And then the great thing about all of these is that you can, I mean, if you were going to stack lots of them up, if you're going to make like a huge pyramid of these things and put books between all of them, which you can do when you're cold pressing, and you wouldn't be able to see the book anyway, so you might as well get the cheaper ones and just stack them up, really thick like that. And that's the way you do it. So these ones, this is the economy one. You see how floppy it is? It still works. It just doesn't hold as much heat. It's not very useful for a bottom plate when you're pressing because it doesn't hold a lot of heat. It has a very low heat capacity. It's only about 30 thousandths of an inch, or yeah, I think this is between 20 and 30 thousandths. It's pretty thin, but it works great for on the top if you've got dog ears or something and you're trying to use your pressing brake to press those down, or you want to just get even heat and it's the heated side, then they work okay and they're cheap. These ones are great. These ones are thicker. This particular one is 80 thousandths, and I have some between 40 and 80 thousandths are all rigid like this, and they hold heat in. And this sticker here is heat resistant, by the way. It won't fade. Well, it shouldn't fade when you're heat pressing. So these are great for a bottom plate and a top plate if you're making a sandwich. If you want there to not be as much waviness in your board your book when you're heating it, this will help to I won't say prevent, but it will reduce it, and it makes it so you don't have to flip the book over every time because the bottom is hot, and so it heats them evenly. You ever notice that? You probably have. If you only heat one side at a time, the cover will try to kind of rise up when you're done because they're not heated evenly from both sides at once, and so it'll kind of have a little bow to it, and you can cold press it just longer. Just give it a couple weeks of cold pressing, it'll probably come back out. But if you heat it from the bottom at the same time, it just takes a step out and it makes it quicker for you, and that's the reason those things exist. The chamfered boards, I only have size 6 3/4 inch now. I've ordered. It's very hard to get a lot of supplies right now, so the bigger Silver Age ones I'm ordering from a paper mill. The sheets are being cut and coming in, but I don't really have access to all the stuff I'd like to have. So that's it. Those are my updates for now. I'm working on a foxing video for you. I've been working on a lot of books, honestly, and cleaning up a lot. X-Men #1 is super popular suddenly. It used to be Amazing Spider-Man 300, the Hulk 191, like all day long. Now it's X-Men #1 is like coming in hot. There's so many that you have to keep them separate from each other, so God dear Lord, you don't want to give one person the wrong X-Men #1 back. I'm sure I'd hear about that pretty quickly, but that's where we are. I want to teach you about foxing, and then I want to show you some customer stories. So here we go. One is I always like to share the comments, good and bad, if I get bad ones. So this first one reads, "Hi Rick, I received the books and wow, they're fantastic, incredible work. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. Take care, my friend, and let's stay in touch." So that's very kind of him. Let's read one from our old pal Steven here. He's so good. I mean, Steven is going to be, this is a different Steve, not the other. There's two Stevens. This is one of the other ones. He's going to surpass me pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. He says he's hoping to have some time to work on his books, and he is telling me that he had another success, this time thanks to Immaculate. He says, "I should have taken a better before picture, some type of crud across a shining gloss color. Naphtha wasn't making a dent." Now, naphtha is one of the things people use to clean, but I don't try to use it myself. I use something else instead because naphtha isn't the same from batch to batch. If you get a good batch, it is great stuff for cleaning in general. Use it. I don't sell it. Just go to the store and buy some of the stuff. It works great, but be cautious because it isn't the same, and you might be in for an unpleasant surprise. He tried precision swabs with the Immaculate, and what a difference. Then moved to wiping it down the entire cover. It looks really nice now. And look at the dirt got pulled off, no color loss, going into the data. He keeps a notebook. So he's got some dirt here on I think it's a shoulder, or is that a leg? There's some kind of body part. Oh, I think that's a female shoulder. Yeah, female. Looks like a woman-esque shoulder there. And so it is. Here we go. So he's got that reduced or off. Here's the pads he used. Good job. And then he says, I have 2 more to send you. I enjoyed your video on spine ticks. Here's some fails I ran into yesterday. First one's heavy crud and a kind of cool Batman book from the 70s. Naphtha. Immaculate 100% tell you did not seem to do much. Immaculate did clean up a little of the stain. Any suggestions? Second one is always challenging. Pen ink on book. Tried 100% toluene after warming the book up and also dabbing process with a Kleenex. You can see that I pulled up a bit of the actual price ink from the book. No progress in the actual pen ink itself. Any suggestions? You don't know. I just don't know. Pen ink isn't always pen ink. It's sometimes there's different types. It's different stuff. And if it doesn't come up, I give up. Because you're definitely going to pull some of this pricing ink up first. If it doesn't come easily, I don't even mess around with it. Could I eventually get it off somehow? No doubt. I could probably do it if I wanted to put the effort into it, but it is painstakingly awful and it requires a lot of experimentations. Not worth the effort for that little X, which honestly, if you're doing it for grading, don't do it, because that little tiny pen mark is not going to make any difference in the grading versus the rest of it almost always. People always say, oh, if I could only get this off, it'd be worth a lot. It is not, dude. Like, the biggest thing in the world is everybody tells me, not everybody, many people tell me, oh, this book's going to be near mint if I can only clean this one stain off. I'm like, no, dude, it isn't. I mean, people constantly overgrade their books. And if you're like me and you do this a lot and you're constantly grading books and you get good at it, you're constantly like undergrading other people's idea of their value, because it is super hard to get a high grade, and there's lots of things people just do not notice, and it's all the time. But anyway, here's this, and he shows this before picture, and he's trying to get it off, and guess what? He got this off there, and that's probably because of rubbing. If you seriously only dab, you would probably see a little different mark. You can't rub the ink. You cannot. You can only press straight down and try to get ink to lift off, and you don't want to use any sort of physical kinetic action on it at all. That's just, you can't do it. He's got some kind of schmutz here. I don't know. I have no idea what that is. It almost looks like a booger or something, but it's not. It's like paper maybe. He's got some caca on there, and he's got ooh, that is awful. It is grody. Let's see what it looks like afterwards. Oh, well, that's not bad at all, actually. The Immaculate to the rescue. Wow, that's actually pretty good. He did great with that, so I don't know what he's complaining about. It looks fantastic, really. I mean, could you get the rest of that out? Yeah, but you'd probably have to take the cover off of the book, and you'd probably have to put it in a slant board in an immersion bath, and we could probably get that off of there. So, good on Steve. That's really good. I'm super happy to see that. Actually, he did a great job. I can't quite see the B. This didn't appear to come off afterwards, but I could get that off there. I'm pretty sure I could freeze it with liquid nitrogen. Let's see what else we have. Well, that's that for now. I also want to end by saying what are some things I'm working on. I'm working on, somebody sent me a Mad Magazine issues 1, 2, and 9 to work on. And he didn't want me to show him until after I'm done and he gets them graded, because he was concerned about CGC finding out, about grading. I will tell you that so far, the CGC I've gotten, I think, about 60 books that I know of that have been graded, and I've had no purple labels come back. It's all been green. I mean, why? Why is because I do only, well, not only, primarily subtractive restoration. So I only take things off the book. I don't add things, and so they don't count. And I don't put anything that would be fluorescent. Some people put things that make a book look brighter in it, and they show up under UV light. Nothing here in Immaculate is additive. It's only subtractive, and for that reason, we're aimed at and geared towards not not doing that. I do have, I should tell you, I just made a new surfactant solution. It's downstairs right now, and I'm going to try to like figure out how to apply it to a book to get rid of stains, and I might be selling that soon. If there's something you're interested in, let me know. The problem is you would need a slant board. I mean, it wouldn't be something that you rub on. Well, maybe, but I don't think you could do it. I think you'd have to rinse with the stuff, and you have to put it, and I'd have to make you a pumping system. So my idea right now is that I just, give you a piece. You can use one of my cold press boards. You put the comic book on the cold press board, you hold it at an angle just manually. I'll give you a squirt bottle, and you just squirt the stuff, and you rinse the stuff out, the stains out, and then you gather it up, and you just do that again until it's rough and manual. Or I can make for you a system, a slant board rinsing system. I used to have one, but it's broken, and the body parts are in storage, and I've been meaning to improve it. And what I would do is I put the comic on a slant board. I have a pump and a misting bar, and the misting bar sprays and rinses the stuff down. I've been reluctant to sell those because they cost me several $100s just to make them, all the pumping and the drilling and the laser cutting and mounting, and then the person wanting to use it would have to disassemble the book. You can't just put the whole book on there. You take one wrap of the book, you take the cover off, you put it on there, and then you rinse the whole thing, lest you, by capillary action, wick the moisture back up into the book itself. And remember, here's the big thing, is that wet paper is weak paper. Super easy to tear a book when it's wet. That's why you dab and you don't rub, because the easiest way to rip a hole in your book is to start rubbing the sucker really hard with something when it's wet, and you just rip it, and that's no good, right? We don't want that. So I might make those and sell them if there's an interest, but they would be pricey. They wouldn't be cheap, and that is difficult work for a non-expert to do. If you don't have a way to heat treat or anneal your staples to 500 or 600 degrees, that is there's a chance you can break them from fatigue when you put them back in, and vintage staples are hard to find. I can, as a service, heat treat your staples for you for about $30. It's not cheap, and then I can anneal them so that they're flexible and ductile again if you're worried about it. But again, do you want to go through all that? Is your water stain worth it? So I don't know. It's worth it to me because I do it all the time. It's not worth it to you if you do this only once, right? So the other thing is, they got the surfactants, and then where was I going with that? I want to talk about using dry cleaning kits soon in the future. And also I am working with, I think I mentioned previously, I'm working with local comic book shop. You may know Russ at Mill Geek Comics. We may be working together, and he may be able to submit directly to CGC. After I work on a book, you may be able to submit it to me for work, clean it, and then we submit directly to him. I'm going to try to focus on simple work, just wet cleaning, dry cleaning, and pressing, because it takes me literally days to work on an expensive book or do some of these harder, more fun things. But it is we cannot service as many people, and it slows things down. So we're working on that. You may have seen him on the Comic Tom 101 page. So I'm not quite sure it's going to happen yet, but it looks like it will. We're going to have a meeting soon. So those are some things I'm up to, and look for more information on foxing soon. Or if there's anything else you guys want to know, tell me if you're willing to pay for a surfactant and rinsing thing. Put a comment down below. If you're willing to pay for a slant board and a press, put it down below. I'm not going to make these things if nobody's going to buy them. Clearly. The questions are, do I provide service? Yes, I do, but you have to go to immaculatecomics.com and schedule it, because I stay away from the money and scheduling and all that kind of stuff. I'm currently around 4 weeks out for a difficult process. If just a clean and press, I can get it back in a week. If you give me a book, if I get it, it will be sent back to you in a week if it's just a clean and press and no weird stuff. I need books that are heavily foxed. If you want to give one to me as a gift, because you're not going to get it back, because I'm very likely some of my experiments may destroy it. And I don't care what it is. It just has to look awful. That's the thing I want about it. Send it to me. I'd love to have it. If you have any other comments or questions about what can be done, how to do it, what kind of products we at Immaculate Comics could be selling in the future that you'd like to see, please put some comments below. And anyway, I'm babbling on. I'm probably going to get tons of thumbs down from impatient people. Oh, one last thing I should say. So I started looking at analytics for the first time because I don't, as you know, I don't monetize my page because I don't want this to be something that I have to listen to people tell me how to do my own video on. But it does hurt my feelings sometimes when people say, "Oh, it sucks, you suck," or whatever. I mean, I can't help it. But my videos are sometimes really long and boring, and they're like some weird ASMR, like noise making, like watching still stuff. But here's the thing about comic book restoration and cleaning. Is a game of inches and not miles. If you are in a hurry, if you are too impatient to watch an entire video about cleaning a video, then you are too impatient to be restoring comic books yourself. Okay, this is not something like, it's not the game for you, right? If you have to skip around and find the thing you need, and it's not in it for you to, you don't have the free time or the patience to learn and to watch in detail. If you get it's evidence that you get bored easily or that you're in a hurry a lot of the time, then this is definitely not the hobby for you. Also, it should be a hobby. It should be fun for you. If you're doing this to make money, you are also in the wrong game, because you will fail a lot, and it could be a very long time before you succeed. So do not do this thinking that you're going to get rich and make money, because there's a lot of heartbreak in this game. Don't be thinking that you can like start restoring books and making money off it, because that is a long way down the road, and it's a significant investment to get there in time and in money. So I'm not trying to be cynical. That's not my goal. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm reaching the right audience, because again, do not be in a hurry, and do not think that money's come flowing into you right away. If you have a very special book that you want to have done, maybe better just to send it in to me or somebody else and have them do it. If it's a hobby for you and something you really want to do, and you love comic books like I do, and you want to restore comic books like I do, then yeah, this is totally your gig. You should be right on top of it. Or if you just want to do simple presses, and you just want a cold press board and a hot press board and a chamfer board, and you don't want to do detailed stuff, you just want to make boards look flatter better, God bless you, then yeah, you can be in a hurry, because that's not super hard, and you can just do it. And I'll sell you stuff to help you do it. But anyway, I'll get off of my my soapbox and not be too cynical about these things. I do want to show some optimism. It's good, but I want to make sure I'm reaching the right audience, because I do get some complaints about my videos being overly long and boring and not filmed well. But you know, if that's how you feel about it, this is probably not the hobby for you, right? So anyway, I'm in danger of over babbling yet again, and later on I will work on some of that foxing issue. I'll get my x-ray out microscope and take a look at some of the stuff. So anyway, take care, you guys. Have a good week, and happy Mother's Day if any of you are mothers. I sincerely doubt that, but if any of you are, shout out to the moms out there. Take care. Bye-bye.